but I.
And we are live. Good morning, good morning, good morning, South Florida. And hello, world. I am Robert Henderson Jr., President, founder, CEO of the Henderson Financial Group, located here in Miami Lakes, Florida. We're a full service financial planning firm, and we have clients all over the world, not just in the United States, but outside of other countries. We love what we do. We've been doing this thing for over 30 years. Joining me here is my brother from another mother, the world famous Mr. James T. How you doing, brother? Man, you looking comfortable, you looking bright and bushy eyed. You look like you know something.
Rob, and I know somebody. I know Robert Henderson Jr.
and I know James T. And we
and,
both
and you
know
know,
our father.
and you know something, Rob. That because I know you, I get all the questions that they should direct toward you. And guess what I do? I said, hold it. I'm just co-host on the show. I said, and he is the guru. I do something totally different. So, hey, if you've got questions, we're asking that you put them in the comments. Or if you don't want to ask the question, you know what to do. You can make that call. If you don't want to put it in the comment and you don't want people to see what you're saying. But Rob, I did get two questions this week. So before you give your sermon, uh, one of the questions happened to be, how can one begin to, quote unquote, prepare so that their money does not run out? I
Oh
said,
man.
Rob, I said, you don't know. You need to go back and check all the YouTubes, all the all the Facebook things. People are now very, very concerned because they thought that they could stay on their jobs as long as they wanted to work.
Yeah,
And they're finding that that's not happening, Robert.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
and they have not prepared. And
No.
and believe it or not, it might be a bit late because if you outlive your income,
Whew.
wow, oh my goodness, what a thought. And the other was, back when I was in college, FAU, we brought down several people. Women's lib type thing was going on, but one of the people that we brought down was Dick Gregory. And so Dick Gregory, I don't know how in the conversation, knew that I ran track in high school and everything. And he said, hey, man, let's run tomorrow. He was staying in Boca. So we met him in Boca. We ran to Del Rey, ran back, and we just stretched out on the beach to watch the sun come up over the Atlantic, right? And I saw something, Rob, that he was with a lady, and he said that in Chicago at one time, and I forget what year it was, nine of the richest people, CEOs of all these major companies, they met. And then he asked the lady, he said, now read this as to how they live and how they die. And Rob, one of the things that he said they knew how to make money, but they did not know how to live. A couple of them committed suicide. There was someone that was in prison. It's on the social platform, so I don't know where it is. You could pull it up on a Dick Gregory, maybe Dick Gregory Speaks or something like that. But that's one of the things too that you and I talk about all the time. Finding that you are hopefully purposed and gifted to do, and living that life not just to earn money, but to serve. And so that's my little session today. So those two things of, hey, Rob, they need to call the Henderson Financial Group immediately if they want to try to provide enough so they don't outlive their money. And two, you'll help them to have a peaceful life so they won't go through the stress and so that they can live a good life.
Yes, yes. It's just, what you don't know will really hurt you. What we don't know will really hurt you. That's why I've dedicated my life to learning. And James C., you do the same way. That's why we get along so good, because we have dedicated our life to learning and discovering and growing. And when you have dedicated your life to good, better, best, never let them rest, until that good become your better and your better become your best. You always strive and you're never bored because you know you always can be better. So you're always working on yourself, and that's mind, body, and soul. I have you. You know, it's really not just listen, I once knew a man, he just kept eating, but he was well studied. He was a CPA, but he just kept eating bigger. He ate so much until he couldn't walk. He was smart now. And then next thing I know, he died. Overweight, heart attack, and everything, because you can't just focus on one aspect of yourself. You have to deal with your mind. Got to be sharp. You can't be on drugs. You know what I mean? You got to deal with your mind, and you got to deal with your body. You got to be healthy, because let me tell you something. I don't care how much money you have, that healthcare cost is going up more and more. I mean, if you get working on money, but you ain't working on your health, man, what good is that? What good is having a lot of money and not having any health? So first you got to work on your mind. You got to make sure you're in your right mind. And then you're going to work on your body and your soul. Those you need in order to have a good fight. Because boy, this war out here, and it's not just a financial war, it's a spiritual war. It's Daretha Hall.
Wow.
Good seeing you, Daretha. Hey, good hearing you. Good knowing you still alive out here, Daretha Hall. My girl. So really, James, you said people are losing their jobs. People are, frightened about running out of money. See, at the Henderson Financial Group, we call ourselves like financial doctors, and we use tools to best and help clients, to serve them. And we're not just focused just on one type of tool. It's different type of tools in our toolbox. We use whatever we need. If we need this, we need a needle, or we need exercise, or we need some pills, or we need to operate, or we need surgery, whatever. We do what we have to do. And I think last week I talked about being a carpenter, and all of us are carpenter. Some of y'all just use a hammer. Y'all walk around with a hammer. Y'all don't even use pliers or screwdrivers, saws, wrenches. Y'all drills. Y'all ain't using that. You just have a hammer. That's all you know. But in life, you really, really have to know how to use the tools. And if you don't know how to use the tools, you got to get somebody who know how to use the tools. There's a lot of things I don't know. Man, I don't know. You ask me about cooking, spices, or whatever. Sometimes I be in the kitchen. I'm like, so what you in this kitchen for? You don't know. And people come over to my house, and we have guests of my house, Thanksgiving or whatever. And one of them will say, "Hey, Rob, where is this so and so?" And somebody will say, "You know, he don't know nothing where the potty is, or he don't know nothing." Which I don't. That's not my department. That's not what I'm gifted in. But if you ask me something about financial planning, about money, about strategies, that's me. That's me. I'm all into that. Well, right. Islam. Good morning. Good morning. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Daretha Hall. So what I want to talk to you all about today, first, I always recap what happened to me, some interesting things that happened to me during the last week. A lady came in, and she came in because she wanted to get her living trust done. And so she came in for that. But when you come into my office, I sit down, we have tea or coffee or water, whatever you want, hot or cold. And we sit down and we have a rap session, and it's confidential. I have the door right there, and we have a conversation. And she came in, like I said, and my hat came off for her because she said, "Listen, I need to get a trust done." And I said, "Before you get it done, I need to first explain to you what's a will and what's a trust. I need to explain to you what is power of attorney. I need you to understand what is healthcare directive." So we went all through all that. And she said, "Let's go." But I'm not a type of financial doctor that's just going to look one way. I asked her, I said, "Well, how's your cash flow?" I'm going to tell you something. I always ask you this. I said, "How many kids do you have? How many children do you have?" She said, "1." I said, "Okay, that was good. I like how fast you answer that. You have one child." I said, "Okay." I said, "What's your overhead cost? What's your fixed overhead expenses per month? What do you need per month?" She said, "Oh man, I think I know it." I started humming. I said, just you see how fast you said you had one kid? I need you to know your number. I need you to know your number. See, what do you mean? I need you to know if you need $4,000 a month guaranteed before you got to bed, $5,000, $6,000. You need to have an idea on what you need. That's a gauge. It's like when you get in your car. Man, you get in your car, man, most of us that got more sense, that's paying, we gonna look at that gas monitor.
Yeah, the first thing, right?
Right, we gonna because we gotta know how far we can go and where we can go. James, if you in Atlanta, James, and you say you got to drive to Miami, you gonna tell me you gonna go get in that car, not even look at your gas meter? You got to, because the gas meter gonna give you how much gas you have, how long can you drive before you are on empty, how far can you go. And once you think about that, you say, okay, well, I know that I only have a quarter tank. But that right there, metaphorically, that's an indicator. So you need to know, how much do I need in order to be sufficient? My basic overhead expenses. That's my utilities, my overhead expenses. Whether you rent or your mortgage, your food, rent, whatever it is, your utilities, any kind of bills that you have. You need to know what that is. And you need to know what it is just in case all of a sudden the company that you work for merge and they fire you or lay you off or whatever. You also need to know that before you retire, because you need to know that's like having a gauge monitor. And once you know that, then I'll say, okay, we got to make sure come rain and shine, you have that coming to your bank account every month. And they say, how are you going to do that? I said, okay, we're going to dissect it. I said, what is one of your largest expenses? He said, well, I'm going to tell you something, Mr. Henderson. The property tax. I said, well, I can't do much about the property tax. Unless I can make sure you be filing homestead exemption if it's your primary residence. I said, how much you pay for homeowners insurance? She said, $11,000. I said, what? $11,000? You got a mansion or something? I got a 7-bedroom, 4-bath house. I don't pay $11,000. What? She said, no, I got a 3-2. It's 2,000 square foot home. You paid $11,000? She said, yeah. I said, oh, I get it. So you had the same insurance company, and every year you pay just like they tell you this is what you got to pay. And next year they go up, you just do what you're told, you pay. And next year, every time they keep going up, and she said, yeah, they just keep going up. I said, well, why you just stay with them then? You didn't know that you can look the other way? Some people, I gotta stay farm. I've been having Allstate all my life. Yeah. I say, listen, some people are dedicated. It's like airline. Some people say, man, I only fly Delta. And Delta like that. Delta could do what you want. I only fly Delta. Let me say, no, I only fly American. Or I only fly Southwest. My sister's been working for Southwest for 40 years. My sister, yeah, it's a true story. She's 71. Yeah. She's still a flight attendant too. Good shape. She says she likes to, don't let me digress. But anyway, that's another story. So, but me, Robert Henderson, oh no. If I gotta go to New York, man, I look and say, okay, what's the best price? Oh, JetBlue. Oh, it could be Delta. Oh, it could be Southwest. Oh, well, give me the best value. That's Robert Henderson. I'm not loyal to nobody taking my money. You have got to be on time, be within my budget. I'm not a brand oriented person. I'm just not. You got to give me value. I'm always looking for value. That's why what we do, we give more in value and service than we take and pay at the Henderson Financial Group. Because that's my philosophy.
Robert, you need to repeat that. You are more about value.
That's right.
Oh, come on, man. Yeah,
that's right.
It's the simple things. If we would stop to think about it, because the first thing I thought about when she couldn't tell you her expenditures, she doesn't have a budget. I looked at that. Wow. Woo. Hey, I have what it carry with me. For I know the plans I have for you. Proverbs 29:11. Rob, I can tell you when I last gassed up. I can tell you how many gallons I did. I can tell you what time it was and the location.
You about your business, brother. You doing exactly what the good book tells you.
Come on. I mean, just to notes, get an idea. Hey, want to put it on paper? Because sure, we're gonna say I'll remember it.
That's right.
But Rob, that point that you made, you're looking for value.
And James, when she started telling me, and I started going over her bills, what's happening. Remember, she came in for a living trust. But remember, we ain't just gonna talk about that. We're gonna look at the whole picture. I'm doing an MRI. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
I mean, it's like you go to the doctor and you just want to get a checkup or something. First thing they do is look at your blood pressure. Because the blood pressure, let me say the blood pressure is metaphorically, because I see a lot of things. I see in pictures. I don't just see what I say, what does this mean? So the blood pressure to me is like a car engine. If either it's running hot, overheating. Because if you keep running a car and it keep overheating, all kind of stuff gonna happen. The gasket, oh my God, you're gonna have, oh man, they're gonna put a lot of stress on the motor, whole lot of stuff. You gotta have coolant in that car. In other words, that's like the blood pressure in us. You follow me? You gotta have you can't have high blood pressure. You just blow a gasket and you have a stroke and die. So you gotta do whatever you gotta do. You gotta have that blood pressure. That's what they always check. Let me check your pressure. You see? So here's the Henderson Financial Group, even though she was coming in for a living trust, I started asking her questions about her daily operation, how much money, how much coming in, how much going out, her cash flow. Because that's everything. Cash flow, that's wealth, cash flow. So I'm gonna tell you what popped out at me, James. When she said she paid $11,000 for homeowners insurance, and I know the area where she lived, and I pulled it up and I looked at the value of it, and she's 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2,000 square foot. I said, we can cut that in half. She said, what you saying? I said, we can cut that in half. Instead of you paying $11,000, because if you keep on just whatever they tell you, next year it's going to be $12,000. I said, go up every year, right? She said, yeah. I said, well, we want to stop that. They think you don't know nobody, but you know the Henderson Financial Group. So I called my guy. I said, give me your deck page, the declaration page for your insurance. She said, I don't have it. I said, call your insurance company and tell them email it over here right now. She called the insurance company. They sent her in her declaration page. That tells you the description of what kind of coverage you have on your home. So she gave me my email, sent it right there. Bam! I took it and I sent it to my person. And I said, the person who I sent to, he's like Priceline, or he's like a insurance broker.
Mm-hmm.
He look at all, you know, you look at all the airlines.
He can tell you what the real value is, right?
Yes. So he did that. He analyzed it. And he came back and said, Rob, we can get to it for $4,500, same coverage. $4,500. She said, get out of here. I said, yeah. And I remember she came in for living trust. But right there, I just cut her expense from $11,000 a year to $4,500 for the year. See, you always got to check the checker, man. You got to evaluate. You got to be about your business. Like I tell you, when you get in that car, you got to look at that gas meter. Now, if your gas meter is broke, somehow you got to just guess. You got to stay on top of it. You got to do what you got to do. But you need to know. The problem is most of us just don't know. And we grown. You don't have to know when you're 12 years old, because mom and daddy going to take care of your grandmama, somebody. You don't have to know about grocery, how much it costs. Somebody going to feed you, hopefully, when you're 10, 12. But when you start getting a certain age and you call yourself grown, you got to know. And if you don't know, then you need to know somebody. And they just said, only 10% of Americans have a personal financial planner. That's just because you work somewhere and you have on the job, and you have the HR, and you have your retirement account with Fidelity, a Vanguard, or any American funds. That ain't financial planning. That's investment. They ain't gonna talk to you about living trust. They're not gonna talk to you about wills and trust. They're not gonna talk to you about that. They ain't gonna talk about your homeowners insurance if it's too high. They don't care. They just want your money so they can make some money. So most people think financial planning is just putting money away and letting people invest it for them. That's not financial planning. That's only one aspect. That's like a carpenter just having a Phillips screwdriver in his toolbox. How much can he build with one Phillips screwdriver? He don't have a hammer, a plier, a drill. You need more stuff. Well, that's all we do. We just invest money. Invest? What about this lady homeowners insurance? Well, we don't care about that. And that's who you have your relationship with, Vanguard or Fidelity or T. Rowe Price or Powell or whatever. That's all that's not financial planning. No wonder people are so messed up, and a lot of the wealthy people don't care because they feel like you grown, you ain't 12 years old. You should know. And if you don't know, you need to ask somebody. You should be about your business. But if you don't care, Rob, I didn't say I didn't care, but your actions speak louder than your words. You have to say it. You act like you don't care. Actions speak louder than words. True or false, Jane?
Amen. You know, and one of the things that I've been noticing on some of these social platforms that when you speak of insurance, now she was dealing with homeowners insurance, correct?
Right.
Hey, they're saying the same thing about car insurance.
Oh,
Yeah.
we went to that next now.
Okay, go ahead. Excuse me.
Same thing, James. Now she came for Living Trust, but she had some more ailments. When I did the MRI, the X-ray, I said, "Oh, you got this wrong." That's why doing an MRI. That's why really a good doctor want to get your blood work, because they want to know what's going on.
Right.
You come in there and say, "Hey, my shoulders hurt." They say, "Let's do some blood work." If you go to a doctor and they just sell you some pills and some stuff to make you high,
ease the pain,
just ease pain.
Hey, here's a painkiller.
Yeah. A lot of y'all hooked on them painkillers. That's right. Not doctoring. That's not really a medical checkup. MRI, knowing what's underneath, knowing what you cannot see. You follow me?
Amen. Well, I truly do believe, Rob, that when they come to the Henderson Financial Group, they already have in their mind what they think they want, rather than coming and telling you what they need. I need help. This is what I have. Here's what I'm thinking. This is how old I am. This is, as you ask so often, are you planning to retire? Or are you already retired? And how have you planned, for prices are going to always increase. I don't care what they keep saying about, oh, hey, I don't shop. But here recently, over the past year, I've been doing some shopping. Okay. And with that in mind, I said, oh, no. Hey, do you know, I just walked out this store with this bag and I just spent $60. I said, what? I said, what? Rob, so if you're not going to seek help, then you're not going to get the help that you need. It's basic. Rob, ask. I mean, this may be my idea. She may have said, well, hey, I think I want to trust. But Mr. Henderson, I want you to show me what I need, because here's what I want to do. I am X number of years old. I earn, or this is the money that I earn. This is the money that I spend. How can I do better?
Right.
But Rob, that's the thing. Even a good salesperson does not come in there and tell you, "Hey, buy this." No. Hey, they want to know, what are your needs. If I meet your need, hey, you're going to thank me, you're going to love me, and you're going to appreciate me, and you're going to tell others about me. So,
That's
in my
right.
thing of selling, I didn't come to sell you me. I came to say, how can I increase your ROI, return on whatever the investment is? I want to help you to do better and to gain more. So, if you do better and gain more, you're able to do like me. You're able to help and serve others more, because, hey, not the more I have, the more I want. The more I have, the more I want to give.
That's right. That's a gift, brother. Islam, she's posted here. Hey, Islam, you getting me off my sermon for the day, but I'm going to answer your question, Islam, because I love you. And then I'm gonna go ahead with my sermon, what I want to talk about today. But listen, Islam says, "Hi, Rob. My husband is encouraging me to become more financially literate. Question: Why are index funds compared to S&P 500 versus the Dow Jones Industrial Average?" Okay, so you say, why are index funds compared to the S&P 500 versus the Dow Jones Industrial Average? Okay, first of all, let's talk about what's an index fund? So index fund, I would say, I'd like to give you a visual. An index fund, let's say like there's an index fund that has 500 different companies in it. 500 different companies in it. And metaphorically, let's just say you have a fund that has, let's say you have a fund that has, well, let me see. Well, the index fund, because you have 500 different companies in it, and it could be an index fund that's dealing all with technology, because that's hot right now. That's been hot for the last 10 years. So all 500 of these companies in one basket covers an index. In other words, it covers an industry. Let's say it's technology, and y'all know technology is booming. It's the front runner, and it's made the most money. It's not diversified, but it's technology. That's the Google, and the Apples, all the stuff that's shaping our modern world in terms of new discovery, robotic, all that kind of stuff. That's futuristic stuff. So that's a index fund. Now the S&P 500 is 500, which is really an index too. It has 500 of the top companies in the U.S. You name all the top companies from McDonald's to Coca-Cola, and Apple is in there. It's 500 top. It's honor roll students. And then you have the Dow Jones Industrial Average. The Dow Jones only have 30 companies. It has 30 companies. And I want you to think of these packs, these groups. When you was in high school or something, you had little groupies, the popular kids, they set the trendsetters. Yeah, that's what you have that clique over there. They think they all that. Then the football team, they think they all that. And then the band team, they think they all that. Well, if you put them in a different index, they got their own thing. They think they got going on. You know what I mean? And then you got the pretty people. All the pretty people like to hang with each other. You know what I mean? The pretty girl, pretty boy, and all that. It's just pretty. Those are different groups. So when you look, and they always comparing each other to each other. And in life, a lot of people compare what this company's doing and what that company's doing. And I'll give you another one as I'm thinking. You can look at NBA. You could the New York Knicks versus the Spurs. The Knicks who won the championship versus the Spurs. Versus Golden State Warriors. Those are different, and they always comparing who got what. So in the market, they're all, and the funny thing about it is, S&P 500 is part of the Dow Jones, but Dow Jones only have 30 all-stars. They have the top 30, but the Dow Jones is what we look at every day. Did the Dow Jones go up, them top 30, or did they go down? Collectively, if 15 of the companies went up in value today and 15 of them went down, then you had zero. You follow me? So all of them get a point, so to speak, and some of them get more points in terms of what they contribute to that 30 stocks. But it's still they just compare them. That's all. And it's something to be said that if you can't pick individual stocks, say you want to pick Costco because you feel Costco is a good company, it's gonna be in business. Then you want to pick Nike, because you figure a lot of people. So you got Costco and you got Nike, and then you go pick, Wingstop, because you like chicken wings. So now you got three companies: Costco, Nike, and Wingstop. But now you put all your money, you put $100,000 on divided by 3, 33 1/3 on each of them, then you only got 3 horses. If all of them, why would you do that when you could take the $100,000 and put it into the Dow Jones and give you a basket of 30? Or you could take the 100,000, instead of having 3 picks companies, you can put one in S&P 500. Now you got all 500 with that same 100,000. What are the chances and what's the risk? When you have 3 horses, all 3 of them got you got 100,000, the 33,000 in a third each of them. That's more of a risk because you didn't spread it. So if you put it in 500 companies, more conservatives. And then if you put it into the index funds that deal with technology, they could run fast, but it's risky because technology will go up and also to get hit. I'll be out picking up what I'm putting down. I don't care. James, me giving all these different metaphors, that reminded me of Jesus in Matthew's. When he kept telling them,
why are you talking in parables?
Yeah.
Why did you talk to them in parables? He said, well, hey, you've been with me, you know, but I have to give them parables because some of them didn't come to really seek the knowledge. They just came to be entertained.
Exactly.
But what my understanding is, as you said earlier about financial literacy, it's not one fit all.
Right.
Financial literacy is your assessing the needs of the individual that comes to you and showing them how it best works for them. Hey, we don't all have the same dreams, or desires. We don't all have the same health issue. And that's another thing that I think we can get so hung up on how much money we have. And as you said, we sort of mentioned earlier, we're not concerned about our health issues as well. Are you taking care of yourself? Because one of the things that Dick Gregory was saying when I was speaking earlier was that these people, whether it was a mental health or physical health, hey, they had the money, but they did not know how to best live life.
Yes.
And I think what you do is you're saying, hey, I could sell you this, or I could say, if that's what you want, but I want to see you do better. When you that good, better, best, I want to see you do better. And in order for me to help you to do better, I need a better understanding of who you are, what, your situations are. Are you planning for, there's one gentleman said, hey, there's that, I want to be a generational curse breaker because I've seen everybody in my family do this, do this, do this, and it didn't get them where I would want to be. So I'm going to be a generational curse breaker. I want to do things different. And in order to do things different, like as we talked about earlier, you got to be a learner, man. Hey, Rob, I know we study every day. Even if it's just situation, we have meetings to discuss various things based on everybody's expertise. So let's bring everything together and see what's the next best move. And even with that, let's be prepared if it doesn't bring us what we want.
That's right. So Islam, you gave me a thumbs up. I hope I ain't say too much. I hope I ain't confuse you more, but that's just metaphorically speaking. Those are just different groups. That's all. But the bottom line is they all stocks.
And that's just the investment part, correct?
Yeah, they all stocks.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 30. The Dow Jones has 30 stocks in a group of 30. The S&P 500 has a group of 500. And an index fund can have 200, 300, 400, 600 different companies in it. But you can trade them every day. But they still stocks.
Help out on this too. Now, who deals best with IPOs?
Well, an IPO is an initial public offering.
Mm-hmm.
It's when a company like James if you and I want to start, a barbecue stand, let's just say, all right, we want to start a barbecue stand, and we want to raise money. We want to get other people to give us money. So we're going to offer people to be a part of our business. So we're going to say, if you come in and you give us, we're trying to raise $50 million because we're going to have the whole franchise of this barbecue. in order for people to be excited about barbecue, you get barbecued everywhere, you know. Our barbecue, we have sauce that when you eat the barbecue and use our sauce, it make your hair grow. That's the hook. That's the hook. Now, you know, James, if we came out with a barbecue company business, the barbecue was just falling off the bone. It also make your hair grow. You think that we'll have a lot of people wrap around the corner lines? Yes. Now, so we need to raise 50 million because we're going to be in every state. And James, you and I don't have 50 million. So we telling, just like what I'm telling y'all, and y'all, listen, y'all just heard what I just said. You know y'all will invest in that. Y'all know that's when y'all say, well, how much? I want to invest in that, right? And James, we're gonna raise 50 million. And everybody knows that's a hit. Barbecue, and it's good. And the more you eat, the longer your hair grow. Oh Lord. Man, people like me will be first in line. They have a whole lot of bald head people, men and women, right? So they're like, how much is a share? Well, a share gonna start off at $25 a share. Now, you know, if we sell 1 million shares, that's 25 million. So, you know, if we sell 2 million shares at $25, that's a $50 million, right? We already raised it. Follow me?
Mm-hmm.
So,
which one of those funds do we go to, though, Rob?
No. Forget them funds.
Okay.
This is real life. This is real life. You and I said we're getting ready to start this company, and we need to raise money.
Okay.
So we got to offer it to the public
first.
This the first public offering. That's why I call initial public offering.
IPO.
Yesterday we ain't offer it, but today it's going to be the first public offering. It's called an IPO. And what we're offering the public is a chance to be a part of our barbecue eating, make your hair grow long business. And people going to $25 a share. People going to say, hey, go. I want 1,000 shares at $25. I got 25,000. Then people say, hey, man, I got $100,000. People, and the word going to get around. And next thing you know, the people that got in first, once we raise that $50 million initial public offering, once we raise that, we got all the money. And we got shareholders that gave us that money. And they gave us $50 million worth. Then next year, we're going to open our doors. And we open our doors, we're going to make so much money until the share price that we started out at $25, the share price has grown to $50 per share. So the person that bought 1,000 shares at $25,000 in 1 year, their money doubled. And guess what? They're going to tell the world. And other people are going to say, how can I get some shares? But we only sold $50 million initially. Me and you, James, we invited the public to come in and be a part of our growth. The first time, one time, because we needed how much? We needed $50 million. We didn't want to go to no bank. We went to the people and told them our idea. And then the people say, you ain't got to go to no bank. I'm giving you money. People start just giving us money, and we raised that $50 million. Now we got that $50 million. We getting ready to go build the bricks and build and build our stores around the country, right? We good, right? Now, but we got people keep knocking on the door saying, how can they get shares? We saying we ain't selling no more shares. We already got the 50 million. But now it's a secondary market.
Come on.
The people that bought it at 25, they got people saying, hey, you bought it at 25, the initial cost for it. Now it's worth $50 per share. Let me get into that because I think it's going to go to 75. I think it's going to 100. So it's going to be supply and demand. More people going to want to come, and the people that own the shares going to say, hey, I bought this share for $25 and I bought 1,000 shares. So I put in 25,000 each share. Now worth $50 a share. So I done doubled my money. I'm getting ready to sell it. I want to go buy me a car. So now you sell your shares, not to me and you. They're going to sell it to who? The neighbor, other people who missed out on that initial public offering. Now, okay, so if that seemed confusing, I'm gonna be like Jesus in metaphor in Matthew. I'm gonna give you another parable. You know, when a developer get ready to build brand new houses, and when he build them brand new houses, people come in initially to buy all of those houses, and then they sell out. The developer gone, but now you still got a brand new house. One man that bought that house, a year later, he want to sell it. And the people who didn't get a chance to buy into that development when it first started because it was sold out, somebody was waiting for somebody to sell their house. And that's the secondary market. So somebody the next year to come and buy this guy house who bought it a year earlier when it first was offering, when development first came out, somebody want to get into that neighborhood. They're not buying it from the developer. They're buying it from who? The homeowner who bought it first. That's called the secondary market. That's the stock market. The stock market, if it's not an initial public offering, it's a secondary market. Oh, I got another metaphor. I'm gonna spin this again in case some of y'all didn't get that. Some of y'all didn't catch that. I'm gonna give you the same idea, but different context, okay? I got a pair of shoes on that I bought from the store. And let's say I bought the shoes for $100, sneakers, which I won't ever pay that much. But anyway, okay, I'm just an example. So $100 for some sneakers. And then I turn around and I put the $100 sneakers on eBay, which is the secondary market. Remember, I'm reselling it. So now I'm reselling it on eBay. And eBay, people start buying stuff. Somebody gonna pay $120. They bidding on it. Somebody say they pay $125. Somebody say they $130. That's a secondary market. The stock market is a secondary market. If it's not an IPO, initial public offering coming from the company, it's secondary. That's SpaceX. When it came out, that came from the company, Elon Musk company. After the first day of trading, now it's being flipped. It's secondary. James, you just told me about a guy in radio. You say a guy in radio can come and buy a spot. He can come and buy the whole spots for the prayer.
X number of dollars.
X number of dollars. Say he paid $90,000 and he want that time slot every day at 12 noon. That's the initial public offering. Now he got it at $90,000. Then he turns around and he flips it on the secondary stock market. And other people, he sell it and make more money. He sell it. He bought it. He locked the whole down. He locked it down for $90,000, 12 o'clock noon for the whole year. But then he turns around and he starts selling to other people who want to get that same time slot, but he don't sell it for $90,000. He sell it to individual people. He wind up getting $200,000 for it. So he flipped it. That's a secondary market. All the stock market, if it's not an IPO, it's secondary market. When you buy Apple, you ain't buying it. If you go buy Apple stock on Monday, you're not buying it from the company. You're buying it from somebody that needs money and they want to sell their shares. You have to sell your shares on the secondary market. All the stock market is secondary market. It's just a big eBay. It's just a big Amazon. It's resellers. Sometimes, you can go and say, I can say, listen, I want to buy a book off Amazon. And you look and you see the book at different prices, different sellers selling the same book. This book right here, they say you can get it new for $20. Then you got somebody else want to sell the same book on Amazon for $25. What? Because that's a secondary market. You're not buying it from the author. You're not buying it directly. You don't put it on Amazon, which is a secondary market. It's open. It's like an eBay. It's a bid. Whoever want to pay, whatever you want to pay for it. It's a secondary market. Okay, I done gave you a lot of examples.
We got it, Rob. I'm sure they got it. Wait, as a matter of fact, if you got it, put a check in the comments.
Put a one in the hand. Put a one. Put a one. And if you ain't get it, you got to call me. If you didn't get that, woo, Lord. I see Jesus had a hard time, man, in the metaphors. You're like, what is he? We don't understand him. That's what the secondary market is. All right, man. Okay, y'all got me started, man. Y'all got me. I can talk about this stuff all day long, but we only have an hour. But listen, my sermon for today, Islam, you got that? Okay. Anybody else got it? Anybody else out there? Just Islam, you the only one listening today? My God, can anybody post? Did y'all get that? Did y'all learn something new? I use real estate, secondary, initial, when the house is first built. It's like my house. I've been in my house. I bought my house the year 2000. That was initial public offering because the developer was building them. And I said, I want you to build my house. I was the first person to use a toilet. Now, if I ever sell that house, that's going to be on the secondary market. The builder gone. I don't know where he at. That's been 26 years ago. He done sold out the whole houses. So now it's got to resell. That's a secondary market. You do that with Amazon. You do that with the stock market. Anytime you buy shares, if it's not their initial public offering, you're giving the money to the company, it's a market. It's the secondary market. That's how the stock market works. They took that same concept and did it with eBay. They took that same concept and did it with Amazon. It's just secondary markets, okay?
Robert, back in the day, particularly in South Florida, I can remember when people would be sitting in line when a contractor had gotten permits and everything and say they were going to build new, I hate HA, homeowners association fees, but they were going to build a new community. People were lined up to go in because, hey, we're getting that initial price.
That's right, that initial price. You're locking it in that initial price. And they take that same concept and they put it in, it's the same kind, it changed the names, man. It changed the terminology. That's what confused people. It's the same concept. You buy low and you sell high. You resell it. It's the same. You know, it's the same thing. When mom and pop go ahead and open up a little mom and pop restaurant and sell you some chicken and rice and some vegetables for $25, that's secondary market. They went and bought that rice wholesale and they bought the chicken. Rice don't. I can't play. People pay a lot of money for rice at restaurants. Rice don't cost high. I don't know. I don't shop. Does rice go up like everything else? Rice.
Rob, I couldn't tell you.
Shop right.
But anyway,
that's secondary market.
Secondary market. All right.
Anytime you have a restaurant and you selling food, you selling the secondary. You done made it. You bought it for that one plate cost you $5 to make because you got a whole bag of rice. You only give him a little bit of rice, and you bought a whole chicken. You only give him a quarter of a chicken, and you bought a whole lot of vegetables. And whatever, and you charging $25 for that one plate. It might have charged you $25 to buy the whole to feed 10 people.
Well, in bulk. People
in bulk.
Yeah.
So that's a secondary market. Reselling secondary market. That's how the stock market, secondary market. Woo, run out of time. I only got 10 minutes. Man, I tell you.
Go get it. Get it.
All right.
You can do it.
Okay. So last week, again, lady came in. She said, Mr. Henderson, I got to talk to you. She said, my house is paid off, but I'm about to lose it. I said, you don't have a mortgage? You paid your house off? She said, yes, I took everything I had to pay that house off. I said, okay. I pulled it up. I said, let me see, what's your address? She gave me the address. I said, wow, your house worth $700,000. She said, yeah. And the property taxes keep going up. She said, I ain't paid them property taxes because now they $9,000 a year. And I'm on fixed income. I retired. I bought the house a long time ago, and that's why I'd appreciate in value. But now the upkeep on the house is too much. And my children, they just barely making it. They grown, but they got their own lives. And now I'm 3 years behind in property taxes, and they're threatening to foreclose on me. She said, can they take my house? I said, yeah, because, in America, if you own property, you have to pay property taxes. The government, you have to pay property taxes. And if you have a mortgage on it, you have to pay insurance. I said, do you have insurance on your paid off house? She said, oh, no, I can't afford no insurance. I said, so here in South Florida, so if a hurricane hit and you say you on fixed income, you can't even pay to fix the house up. She said, no, I can't. I'm just praying. But I said, but now you say you about to lose the house because they're sending you notices. You ain't paid taxes in 3 years and they're going to foreclose on the house. Said, yes. I said, how old are you? She said, I'm 72 years old. I said, 72. And you ain't got nobody. How much you are? She said, 9. I said, $27,000. I said, your children have $27,000. yeah, who you gonna leave the house to? Say, I'm gonna leave it to my children. And they collectively can't come up with 27,000. You say, no, they can't. They credit bad. They all messed up. Miss Henderson, what can I do? I said, I can't. I said, okay. Rather than lose your house and you don't have no money. See, T. James, and what I'm describing, this same situation is in the good book. The lady that had oil, but she figured she didn't have nothing. She didn't have nothing. She said she don't have nothing. She didn't think she had nothing. This lady got a $700,000 paid off house with no homeowners insurance, and she cannot afford the property taxes. And it's been 3 years, and they're about to foreclose on her, not the municipality, and take her house. And she said she don't, her back is against the wall.
Mhm.
So she came to me and I said, well, you 72 years old. There's a government program. Well, you can borrow enough money to pay for the taxes and not have no mortgage. You don't have to pay the money back until you're dead. She said, you talking about a reverse mortgage? I said, listen, I don't care what you call it. It's a solution. You could actually, the house worth $700,000. Well, I heard bad stuff about reverse mortgage. Okay, we're going to lose your house then. You got two options. You could do I like the new reverse mortgage. Now, this lady right here, I had Tavares call. And Tavares went online and said, Henderson, she can get $300,000 tax-free and do whatever she want to do. The house worth $700,000, but she qualified for $300,000. They'll give it to her in 30 days. That's enough for her to pay back the taxes, the 3 years, catch it up, 27,000, and then have some. She can actually take some out per year and pay the taxes. And she don't have no monthly payment. So she called her children told her don't do it. So they'd rather lose the house. See, you got to use what you have. What do you have? Most of y'all don't know what you have, what you've been blessed with. You can't take no house with you to heaven or hell, wherever you're going, whatever you believe. It's just some, and what makes it so bad, she on fixed income to get a Social Security and get a little pension. But every year, utilities, property taxes, everything. And she's vulnerable because in South Florida, if a hurricane hits, she's not even insured. So let me tell y'all what a lot of people hear bad news. I heard bad things about reverse mortgage. Check this out. You've heard bad news from broke people. You've had bad news for people who don't know nothing. There are smart, really smart, intelligent people that use the heck out of reverse mortgage to get rich and get more money. So let me have a conversation with y'all. In this same situation, already she couldn't afford to pay the property taxes. And the house was paid off. And it's valued at $700,000. And her kids and nobody who know got $27,000 to save her house. And she says I'm telling her a free option where she ain't got to take no money because she ain't got no money, but she can use the money that's in the walls to get rid of her problem and keep her house. And her children telling her not to do it. Ain't that some shiggity? Talking about the blind lead the blind. Now, if she don't have to borrow $300,000. I'm just saying, she don't have to take it. She can have a $300,000 line of credit tied to the reverse mortgage. And when you just sign a paper and say, okay, I'm not withdrawing the $300,000, I want to just have access to it when I need it. Put it into the reverse mortgage money market. And she said, well, how much, if I do that, how much interest are they paying me? Do you know that the reverse mortgage money market, when you don't even withdraw the money out, you just have a line of credit, it's available to you, the money grow at 7%. Where else you getting 7%? Y'all, CDs ain't getting 7%. Bank accounts, savings account ain't getting 7%. Here you got the right to take out $300,000. You ain't got to take it out. But if you sign for it, they put it into a line of credit and you're getting 7%. 7%, that's $21,000 a year just on the $300,000. You ain't even take it out. You just have you eligible for it, but they're gonna give you interest on it. Ain't that something? So y'all don't know, man. And you perish for ignorance. And then you listen to somebody else who broke, who don't know. And the people who told you they had bad experience with reverse mortgage, they took out a reverse mortgage. One of the requirements is if the government give you this money, you don't have to pay it back until you're dead. I think that's a damn good deal. Try to get it out of me. Try to get it out of me. Try to take me to court and I'm dead, right? Okay, first, that's a good deal. Secondly, when they give you this money, the people who messed up and have a bad taste about it, they took the money and they didn't pay the property taxes.
Bam.
They took the money and they didn't have no homeowners insurance. When you do a reverse mortgage, you ain't got to pay the mortgage payment back, but you do got to insure the property. You do got to pay property taxes. The government, because the municipality, they don't care about reverse mortgage. If you don't pay them property taxes, they first. So anybody who took that reverse mortgage, how you get in trouble is you take the money and you don't pay nothing. You know, that's like, this is what that's like. That's like you going to the rental car, Avis, Budget, Hertz, or whatever. That's like you go to the counter and say, hey, I want to rent one of y'all cars. And they say, okay, well, you got to put insurance on it. I ain't paying no insurance. I just want to drive your car off and you don't know where I'm going and I ain't having no insurance on it. Does that make any sense? How you going to take the people's car and don't put no insurance on it? And and you hit somebody or somebody hit you. So how you going to do reverse mortgage and take the people money and don't pay no insurance for the house get burnt down or hurricane? So everybody who said, man, the people lost their house, damn right they lost their house. Ignorance. How you gonna take my money, not insure my money? That's some crap. How you gonna take my money, not pay the property taxes where the local government will take your house? So that's why you gotta pay the property taxes. That ain't a whole lot to ask, is it? If you go to Avis and you rent the people car, you gonna get mad because you don't want to put no car insurance on their car? And they ain't know where you drive and how fast you can drive. They can regulate you. You just going out the door with their keys and you uninsured? Does that make any sense? This is kind of people that tell you, oh man, lady, man, she died and the reverse mortgage people took the house. That's because them sorry kids could have sold the house. And this lady right here, if she don't want to do the reverse mortgage, because she ain't got much sense, people around her ain't got much sense. If she don't want to do the reverse mortgage, and she gonna let them people take her house because she ain't paid 3 years, $27,000, 3 year taxes, she might as well damn sell it. Sell the house. Get the money at least. Why you gonna let somebody take the house from you? Why you gonna get foreclosed on? This is the kind of stuff that so many people just need common sense guidance. And a lot of y'all, ego and pride wipes you out. That ego, pride, stubbornness, don't want to raise your hand, don't want to ask nobody. Let me tell you something. Once you get past 40 years old, you need to let that pride go. You need to say, help me.
Help me somebody.
Help me somebody, anybody.
Help me anybody.
Do you know something I don't know? Listen, I'm 68 years old and I'm still saying, help me. Why do you think I go to conferences all the time learning from other people? Man, I love a lot of other people, other smarter people than me. That's what a reverse mortgage is. Now listen, I'm going to go back to that same case. Do you know the lady could take up to $300,000, but she ain't got to take it. if she's eligible, she can get it anytime she wants. They give her a checkbook, as a matter of fact, and she ain't got to pay it back. So they can give her a checkbook. She can pay off, stop the foreclosures for the 3 years back pay up, not paying the taxes. Then, hell, Antonio and Tavares get together. We just got a guy. He lives in Nevada. We got him a duplex in Columbus, Georgia, for $155,000.
Come on, somebody.
Can you believe that? See, we buy real estate all over the world. Listen, this guy, it was his first purchase. He said he wanted to own some property. It was $155,000, Columbus, Georgia. The mortgage, Tavares got the mortgage for him. The mortgage is $1,100 a month. Each side is bringing in $900. So that's $900 over here, $900 over here. That's $1,800. It only costs him $1,100. So $700 goes in his pocket. That's a good investment.
And time will bring that value.
That
right.
you think it's gonna be 150 next year? Next year? No,
Right.
man. And him buying that investment property gonna do wonders for his income taxes. He gonna get all kind of tax deductions, even when he just drive or fly up there or however he want to get there. If he go see the property, every expense from the hotel to the airline to the renting a car to eating, him and his wife, is a deduction from his income taxes off his regular job. See, y'all don't know, man, but y'all don't ask. He didn't care where it was. We could have got it in Tupelo, Mississippi. And then we got the management company that manages it for him, 10%. You follow me? So 10%, I mean, yeah. What is that? $180. He ain't got to see the tenants. That's the management company fee. Out of $1,800 a month, 10%, $180. That's a good deal. And that's going to help him tax-wise. So a lot of y'all that's on fixed, you retired, and the taxes are killing y'all, you need to come to Henderson Finance Group so we can help you with that, so it can mitigate some of them taxes. It's a lot of things. So you know what? So listen, I started talking about that because this lady right here, she got a $700,000 house. She owed $27,000. She can write a check, stop the foreclosure from paying property taxes. Then she could turn around. She could turn around and use some of that money and go buy a rental property that's giving her more income. Because remember, she said she was tight.
Right. Create cash flow.
She could have paid cash for it, $155,000, and get $1,800 coming in, and own two assets: her house plus that rental property, and to give it $1,800 if she'd have paid cash for it. And when she died, her children would have had that too. Man, I'm gonna tell you something. These are the strategies that you listen. That's why wealthy people don't feel sorry when you broke. They say you're supposed to be broke because you're not thinking. Thinkers rule the world. And because you might not know it, but that's what we do, man. That's what we help you. That's why we in business. We got clients all walks of life, black, white, Spanish, they don't care. People just say, give me the information. But you can't have no pride. If you want to do better, then you gotta step up, man. Call 305-825-1444. 305-825-1444. Or go on our website, www.the Financial Group. Gotta put the in front of it, thehendersonfinancialgroup.com, and make an appointment with us. Now, I just was talking about the strategies on reverse mortgage. There's a lot of stuff y'all don't know. Y'all keep listening to people who rumors out there. She keep following the blind. You got to ask, seek, and knock. You got to find out. And what's for you might not be for them. It might not fit them, but it fit you. And then they got another one called reverse purchase. Well, I guess I ain't got time to get in there. I ain't got time to say what a reverse purchase. I guess I got time. Ain't nobody running us off, right?
No, we ain't. They can't cut. Well, I don't think. Go ahead, Rob.
See, a lot of people now, we help the lady with a reverse purchase. We have several people with reverse purchase. So here's a situation. This lady was retiring, and she said she's retiring, and she got $500,000 from her retirement lump sum. She gonna sell her house because she said she can't speak Spanish, and they taking the whole neighborhood, and she too old and she ready for a change. So she gonna move to Tennessee. I don't know why she moved to Tennessee, but I guess Tennessee is a good place. I mean, the diversification, Nashville. Okay, so she gonna move to Tennessee. So we're gonna sell a house. Her house is worth $650. She said she want to go in Tennessee and buy cash. So I say, well, you don't really have to do that. You can do a reverse purchase. If the house in Tennessee costs $400,000, brand new house, all you got to do is take $200,000 and put down on the house. That's called a reverse purchase. I mean, once you put the $200,000 on the house, that's how much you got equity in the house, because it costs $400,000, but you put $200,000 down and you have no monthly payment until you dead. I like that pay me when I'm dead thing. That got a nice ring to it, don't it, James?
Because the value that everybody is banking on the fact that the value of the property is going to increase. Hey, you live another 5, 10, 15, 20, whatever years, and boom. And Rob, the thing that you didn't get into, hey, if whoever you leaving the property to, if they want to pay it off, they can keep the house.
That's right. We can help them get a mortgage.
Yes.
Because it's got a lot of equity in it, It's
got
thinking,
equity
man.
in the property.
It's thinking, man. But some people have fear. Fear and doubt will wipe you out. Fear and doubt will wipe you out. Scared man can't make no money. Scared. I fear. Matter of fact, that's a sin to fear, isn't it? And what you have feared have come upon you. Fear. You got to get that fear out of you, man. You got to have courage. But listen, man.
All right.
Time flew by, didn't it?
Give them that number again, Rob.
305-825-1444. 305-825-1444. Call the office and let's go over some ideas. Let me do an MRI privately. Make sure you're tight. Make sure you're okay. It's your responsibility. It's your responsibility to do that. And you want to be the best you could be. Not just for you, but for your family and people who love you. Anybody that love you, they want you to do the best. Be the best you could be. You should want to be the best you could be, because it trickles down. It really does. If you ain't got nothing, then they ain't got nothing. You ain't got nothing to give. so very important that you become valuable. All of us are worth something, but you got to start using your value. You have things and you don't even know you have something. Sometimes you just can't see it. But if you come to the Henderson Financial Group, we can see what you cannot see.
Amen.
All right, James, we need prayer, brother.
Boom. Hey, it comes from John Davis, my brother. He says, join me in praying. So you can join us in praying. Father God, Lord Jesus, Holy Spirit, help us to dwell in the safety of your presence today. You alone are our true protector, not our locks, our plans, or our own preparations. You heard what Robert said. When we trust in you completely, we can lay down our burdens and rest without fear. Isn't that something, Rob? And of course, give us peaceful hearts today, free from anxiety and worry. Help us to release every concern into your capable hands, trusting, oh God, that you watch over us even when we sleep. Nothing escapes your attention or surprises your sovereign care. It comes from Psalms 4:8, where it says, quote, in peace I will both lie down and sleep, for you alone, O Lord, make me dwell in safety. Blessings upon you and your family, and may the truth that you know set you free. In Jesus' name, amen.
In Jesus' name, let the church say amen, amen, amen.
Because we know a lot of things, Rob, and some of the stuff we know ain't true.
Oh man, a lot of it ain't.
So make sure it's the truth. It's the truth, Ruth. Have a great day, everybody. Great weekend, and stay safe.
Much love. Have a wonderful day. Peace. We gotta go.